Okay, so balik tayo sa economic globalization. So nakalagay dito is a functional integration between internationally dispersed activities, which mean that it is a qualitative transformation. All right. So from the word itself, nakalagay is integration. Kumbaga sa calculus, integral calculus, ini-integrate, ibig sabihin binabind yung numbers, ano, parang ganan, nagsasama or something. Now, the thing is, integration between internationally dispersed activities, which mean that it is qualitative transformation. So more on paglago, ano, pag-grow, kaya nakalagay dito qualitative. Whereas kapag kasi naman sinabi natin internationalization is an extension of economic activities between internationally dispersed activities. Ibig sabihin, more on paglawak, ano? In a way na yung kanina, pag-grow, okay? Ngayon naman, more on quantity, extension, ano? Okay? So, ganon. Internationalization and economic globalization. Yun lang naman yung pagkakaiba diyan. Okay na? So, ayan. So, okay na. Next, we have here, economic globalization produces its own major players in the forms of transnational corporation or tinatawag nating TNC. So, kapag ka tinanong kayo ano, dun sa exam or even the presentation, kapag ka tinanong, ay sa bagay, hindi pala ganun ang pagkakatanong, pero more likely or most likely sa exam, what is the main driving forces of economic globalization? So, ang sasagot ninyo is transnational corporation or multinational corporation. So, nakalagay dito, ano, pagka sinabing ganon, is a corporation that has a home base but is registered, operates, and has assets or other facilities in at least one other country at one time. So, what does it mean by transnational corporation? Hindi, simple lang ito. Okay. Sa ating slide, nakalagay yung transnational corporation. So we have this example. Let's say for example, McDonald's. So yung McDonald's, may headquarters siya or tinatawag nating home base which is sa Illinois, Chicago, US. So ibig sabihin yun ang pinaka-center ng company, okay, na branch ng McDonald's. Kaya kung mapapansin natin, sa iba-ibang parte ng bansa, nag-ooperate yung McDonald's, okay, kaya tinatawag siyang transnational corporation. Aside from that, yung Starbucks, yan, mga ganyan, ano? So, hindi ko lang sure kung anong bansa galing or yung headquarter home base niyan. And then, Coca-Cola, okay, mga ganyan, etc. Kung saan man, no? Basta ang point lang ng transnational corporation, siya ay nag-ooperate sa iba't ibang bansa, may headquarters siya, okay, may home base siya. So, given na yun. So, di ba? Tinatangkilik natin yung McDonald's knowing na ito pala ay galing ng ibang bansa. Maging Starbucks, ano? Mga ganun, etc. Even mga Cadbury in terms of pagkain. Pero in terms of mga tinatangkilik, McDonald's versus Jollibee. So, ano masikat? Siyempre, Jollibee. Hindi, ibig sabihin ganito eh. Ito yung observation ko sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino. Okay? Pagka kasi, halimbawa, nabili ako sa Jollibee or McDo. Pagka napapadaan ako, ang observation ko lagi kapag, halimbawa, drive-thru. Marami lagi talagang pila sa Jollibee. Laging ganon, ano? So, kumpara sa McDo. Kahit sa branch ng McDo, ano, pagka kinukumpara ko. So, ibig sabihin, wala. Parang mas nasarapan ng mga Pilipino sa Jollibee. Kumpara sa McDo. Ewan ko lang. Yun ang aking observation lang. Di ba? Wala lang. Akin lang observation. Pero syempre, sa mga McDo naman, in terms of ibang mga like price, masarap yung price doon. Pero yung hamburger, masarap sa Jollibee. Anyway, ba't ba tayo napapunta doon? Napapunta tuloy pagkain, nagutom tuloy. Transnational corporation ang sinasabi natin. Okay, we're talking about the corporation or the company na nag-operate sa iba't ibang bansa. Let's say for example, Miniso. So, yung Miniso, hindi ko alam kung aware kayo sa mga ganyan, ano? Yung mga store, alam ba, pumunta kayo ng SM, may nakalagay Miniso. Miniso, ano? Yan ay galing sa Japan. Oo. Kaya kita nyo mga product doon, pang Japan yun eh. Okay? Mga ganun. May mga tatak na pang Japan, made in Japan or one, ano? Something like that. Yun ang pagkakaalam natin. Nag-operate siya sa iba't ibang bansa. I think pwede natin masabi yan na transnational na rin, ano? Or kung multinational man. Halos same lang din naman yung top dyan or idea. Okay? So, okay na. Next. So, dito, origin of economic globalization. In the 16th century, world system analysts identified the origin of modernity and globalization through long-distance trade in the 16th century. This best-known example of archaic globalization is the Silk Road, which started in western China, reached the boundaries of the Persian Empire, and continued onwards toward Rome. It also connected Asia, Africa, and Europe. Ito ay given na. Kumbaga, ito ay diniscuss na natin dun sa ating first lesson sa Introduction to Globalization. May binanggit tayo na Silk Road, ano, 'di ba, yung mga Western at saka yung Asian, ano, yung China, tapos sa Europa, something like that, yung mga trading during that time. Okay, hindi na naman natin kailangan ulit-ulitin pa yan. Next, in the 17th and 18th century, global economy exists only in trade and exchange rather than production as the world export toward GDP did not reach 1 to 2%. Ito, paliwanag natin ng malinaw. Okay, yung mga pagkakasunod-sunod na, ibig sabihin daw, noong 1600 to 1700, during that time, yung global economy exists only in trade and exchange. More on that, ano, para bang barter nung sinaunang panahon. Ibig sabihin, para makakain ka, kailangan mo magpalit ng bagay. Okay? So, mga ganon, dun sa pagkain. So, ganon yung kalakaran noon, ano? More on trading and exchanging. So, ayun. Rather than production. Wala pa nung gaanong masyadong production kasi wala pang machine, no? Okay, makabagong teknolohiya. As the world export toward GDP did not reach 1 to 2%. So, ganun yan. Meron tayo tinatawag na inflation at saka GDP. So, alam naman natin yon, pero medyo mas linawan pa natin. So, kapag ka inflation, it refers to an increase in the prices of a broad ranges of goods and services. Inflation refers to an increase in the prices of a broad range of goods and services. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga pagtaas ng mga bilihin natin, yung mga pangunahing produkto like bigas, gasol, gulay, karne, etc. Pangunahin lang yon. Pero, maging yung ibang mga produkto is pwede natin may sama sa inflation. Okay? So now, the thing is, ang pinaka-idea, inflation, inflated, ano? Kapag halimbawa, 'di ba, sa lobo, inflated balloon. Ibig sabihin talagang um, nakalobo siya, parang ganon. The same thing dun sa price. Lumolobo yung bilihin ng mga paninda. Now, the thing is, ano naman kapag ka GDP? Gross Domestic Product. So kapag ka sinabi natin gross domestic product, it is said to be the monetary value of country's finished goods and services in a particular time period. By the way, medyo bagalan ko pala yung aking pagsasalita. Ganito ako magsalita kapag ka face-to-face eh. Online tayo ngayon, ano? Medyo adjust ako ng content. No? Um, GDP is the monetary value of country's finished goods and services in a particular time period. So, sinasabi, kapag ka sa GDP, Gross Domestic Product, ibig sabihin, ano ba yung total na value, market value, ng naiproduce ng country ngayon for a certain period. Okay? So, sa atin, nasa 400 million, okay, sinasabi, ano, yung GDP natin currently. So, around like that, ano, hindi ko lang alam exactly, no? So, ibig sabihin, mas marami na napoproduce tayo na produkto or kung ano man na goods sa paglipas ng panahon. Sa paglipas ng panahon, sa pagtaas din ng inflation. Kaya sinasabi na ang there is a positive relationship exists between GDP and inflation rate, meaning that as GDP increases, so does inflation. So may positive correlation. A rise in GDP is accompanied by a rise in inflation, indicating a positive correlation between the two variables. 'Di ba? Halimbawa sa math, sabi nga natin, meron tayong tinatawag na positive correlation and negative correlation. Okay. Sa negative correlation, halimbawa, yung variable A at yung variable B in terms of connection, okay, ay pagka negative correlation, magkasalungat. Okay, yung pag-under nila, yung pagtaas nila. Yung isa mataas, yung isa mababa. Ngayon, we're talking about positive correlation. Therefore, yung GDP and inflation, parehas kung tumaas man, tataas din yung isa. Kung bumaba yung inflation, bababa din yung gross domestic. O mas nauna kasi yung domestic product okay? Bago yung inflation. Parang indication kasi yung inflation rate ng world gross domestic product. Okay? So, positive correlation, di ba? So, sabay sila. Okay na? Next. So, I hope malinaw na sa inyo yan. In the 19th century, the advent of globalization approaching its modern form is witnessed. A short period before World War I is referred to as Golden Age of globalization characterized by relative peace, uh, free trade, financial, and economic stability. Okay, naalala ko lang So, ibig sabihin, before World War I, Golden Age daw. Kasi nga, kita nyo, nung World War I, tapos dumating pa yung panahon ng Great Depression noong 1929, Okay, nasa range pa rin yun ng World War I, Dating pagkakatanda, if I'm not mistaken. Kumbaga, bagsakan na, yung ekonomiya worldwide during that time. So, before noon, masagana, Pero syempre, kahit paano naman, nakaraos naman ng daigdig, sa Great Depression. Pagkatapos ng World War II, Kahit paano. Okay? Yan, kaya musbong na yung mga teknolohiya. So, kaya ngayon, dito tayo sa global economy in the 19th and 20th century grew by an average of nearly 4% per annum, which is roughly twice as high as growth in the national income of the developed economies since the late 19th century. Okay? So, ayun. Okay na, next. Maiba naman tayo. International Monetary System and Gold Standard. International Monetary System refers to a system that forms rules and standard for facilitating international trade among the nation. It is the global network of the government and financial institution that determine the exchange rate of different country or currency for international trade. It is a governing body that sets rules and regulation by which different nations exchange currency with each other. So ganito, kung i-relate natin doon sa tinatawag natin na World Trade Organization, di ba siya ay kinapapalooban ng 189 member countries na naglalayon in terms of mga trade policy sa kanilang mga member countries. Whereas kapag sinabi nating International Monetary System, ito na yung mismong sistema, ito na yung mismong rules, okay, na sinusundan in terms of that, ng mga trading, and also, doon sa sinasabi natin ng mga exchanges of currency